Hello, friends. I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope everything is good. Hope everything is great. Everything here is pretty good. Pretty, pretty, pretty excellent. It's Tuesday, and I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. Work has been work. I'm working on that new project still, and I'm enjoying my time kind of dorking around. I feel like as a front end guy, like I told you last week that I like to focus on doing front end work early because it really helps me define how the project flows. Like, I'm not a data first person. I'm a what do I want to see first person, and then it helps me kind of visualize how the data will flow through, or how the user will flow through the data, essentially. So I've been spending a whole lot of time kind of working on just display screens, and that's like the big setup when you're doing a program like this, where it's basically it's almost like a user management system, not necessarily like a CRM or something like that, but it's more just like an informational database for user accounts and billing stuff. I mean, I guess it is kind of like a CRM, but with some very, very, very specific needs. So, figuring out the screen where you display, a bunch of information about an institution or a bunch of different, codes and flags and whatever. To me, how that visualizing how that data works is very difficult. A couple of these tables have, like, I don't know, 20-ish columns, which isn't a lot. It's a lot to view on a screen, but it isn't a lot. But for me, being able to understand how those columns relate to each other or how they relate to other tables, it's very difficult for me to just look at the data and go, oh, I know what's going on here. So being able to see it cohesively, like in chunks, like this is the, say, the address portion of this stuff, and this is the billing portion of the stuff, and this is the customer grouping of, helps me sort all that out. But so I've been working on that a lot, and then I finally got this little guy done. So this is the prop I was telling you that I was making for my friend's escape room, and this will ultimately be on a wall, kind of like a little electrical panel. All these switches are a puzzle. This is a 3x3 puzzle of three-way switches. So whole bunches of different inputs here that you can go through. I got a couple of extra little features in here with a little kind of flickering status light, little power light, and then I'm not going to tell you what everything else does, but the main part of the puzzle is this sort of 3x3x3, because these are three-way switches, switch bank that the players will need to figure out this button order in order to make magic happen. So this will kind of be on the wall, and it should serve the purpose pretty well, I think. I'm a little bit worried that I didn't make it deep enough. I'm a little bit worried. I know where it has to go, and I know what it has to do. I'm a little worried that I didn't leave enough room in here for the electronics that go back here. I probably should have sized this up just a little bit, but if I failed at that, I think I can fix it. So we're going to have to get this in his hands, let him see what he needs to do with his parts and with where this goes on the wall, and determine if I screwed up. And if I did, I'm basically going to have to kind of extend it out a little bit, which I think I could do. I think I could make that happen without it looking like I screwed up. So we'll see. Hopefully it works just like this, and I don't have to do anything else. And he can be happy because he's been very, 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 very patient. I told him I would do this. I'm not charging him anything for this. I'm not charging him, he bought the switches. These are just components from things that I had laying around, LEDs and stuff, and knobs and lights and stuff that I had just kind of in my collection here. So, and this is just some extra poplar that I had that I stained. This is some extra 1/4-inch plywood that I had. So a lot of the stuff is just extra. I don't necessarily have a use for it. And being able to donate it to the library for a really fun event, that's more important to me than getting paid. So That's what that is. And what was the other thing I want to talk about? Oh, I didn't mention it. I just did it on yesterday, I think, or Sunday, or whenever it was. I have completely rebranded myself online. I've been using the same avatar online for since 2012, I think. So for 7 years, I used the same little avatar of me with the fedora. And recently, I've decided that it was time to rebrand. So if you notice in the little corner here, I don't know where it is on your screen. I'm really bad at that. My little face icon has changed. I'm rebranding my website. I'm rebranding my Twitter and Instagram, and all that stuff is getting the same logo now because the gaming channel is about to happen. So now that the desk is done, I needed to build a couple things for that space, and I'm going to work on that very soon, which means I'll be shooting videos very soon, and I'll start populating that channel. So if you haven't yet gone over there and subscribed, and you want to be notified when I start publishing videos over there, there'll be a link in the description for that channel. Go subscribe now. If not, don't worry about it. I will tell you about it on a future episode when I actually start publishing stuff over there. So you can just keep on watching here every day like you have been, and you'll find out when I start publishing stuff over there. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, being wonderful people. I appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact from Wikipedia. What makes salmon meat pink? The actual color of salmon flesh varies from almost white to deep pink, depending on their levels of the carotenoid axanthin, due to how rich a diet of krill and shrimp the fish feeds on. Salmon raised on fish farms are given artificial coloring in their food.